It's amazing. Look at it. Look at it. Power overwhelming. We now have auras that are popping out of the stage. Hey, hi. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Goat Force Gaming channel, where we play the roguelikes and the roguelites every single time. Folks, if you like rogues, I am so glad you're out here with us, because I'll tell you what, in my opinion, you're not only in good company, you're also in one of the coolest places in all the infinite hallways of the interwebs. Thanks for being here with us. Folks, I'm excited to be back with more Tiny Rogues. I know. I have built up quite the addiction to this game, and you know what? All of you are continuing to enjoy the content of the game, so it works out really well. You enjoy the content, I enjoy playing the game, so we continue making videos and trying to make progress in Tiny Rogues. What is a fun game, and also at times a very challenging game, but you know what? In the best way, it keeps me coming back. So we have decided to jump in again with the Necromancer. I really enjoy this class, and this was kind of a funny moment. I didn't enjoy any of those circlets that this person made themselves, and so I decided, let's just go ahead and leave that for the next adventure, because it didn't really go with anything I was looking to do as far as setup goes. So this is a watch party, by the way. I recorded this video the other night, and as I've mentioned previously, my kids are right down the hall, and I can't be in here ranting and raving about things like fried chicken and steak and coffee and all the good stuff that we like yakking about on this channel. So we're going to enjoy this run together, and I'm going to tell you right now that this run is going to get ridiculous in the best way, and I'm excited for you all to see where this one goes. So stick with us. The other thing that I'm excited about is that I get to tell you that this video that you are watching right now is rated G. Now, some of you lately have hung out here quite a bit and are veterans. You know what the whole rated G deal is. Some of you are sitting there going, this guy is commenting on his own gameplay footage. He's talking about coffee. Now we're talking about food. What is going on here with this rated G business? Well, I'm going to tell you something. It's great news. See, we gave away over 100 video games in 2023, and that was powered by folks like you that hang out here and make this hobby as good as it is. Monetized the channel earlier in the year, and now it is producing revenue, and we can take that revenue and do awesome stuff like buy games for this community. So the video is rated G for a giveaway. We're going to give away 3 more copies of Tiny Rogues. And thank you again to all of you for the awesome support. I was so excited about this scroll. I have had frog runs in the past, and they go so extremely well. I think this is my first time getting the frog scroll since the Between Heaven and Hell update. So when I tell you that I was basically jumping up and down when this showed up, no joke, I was basically jumping up and down. This is where the run started to come together in terms of, boy, what might we want to do? Well, we can poison the hell out of the enemies so far. I've got this wolf thing that's helping me add additional percentage to the damage. But now, here we go with another aura showing up. Man, maybe we want to do something with that. And I thought, I've talked about doing an aura build previously where auras just get ridiculous. Maybe that's what this is going to turn into, because when I started out with the Necromancer, I thought, okay, we are going to put together a companion build. And that's just kind of the way this game goes sometimes. You get in there with an idea, and then you go, well, I don't know. This other thing just showed up, and my goodness, it's good. We are melting these guys between the fire effect and the poison effect from the frogs. Things were looking good. I'm sure you agree. So this is going to be an interesting run. I'm going to comment on it along the way as things happen. And we're going to have a good time with this. I'm going to fire off a warning shot. In case you are hungry, you may want to pause the video for a moment and go grab whatever snack you like to have with your cup of coffee or tea or whatever you're doing out there. Because, by the way, cheers to you. Look at this. I'm hands-free mode today. I can sip away to my heart's content. I have a roast from a roaster out in Portland today, and it has some really interesting notes. This is graham cracker and green apple, and it's got a touch of chocolate as well, and I like it. I think the green apple kind of shows up towards the end. It's just a little hint. It's almost like a floral note. You can, if you try for it, it's there. It's there. So I was going to put some oat milk in there because I love oat milk in my coffee, but I thought, you know what? Let's just go with it today. So cheers to you. I hope you got something good. But you might want to grab a snack too, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have some food talk today. We're going to have some coffee talk today. I had several epic meals yesterday because the wife and I were out celebrating our 15-year anniversary. Sometimes you find outfits here and you just go, man, I don't know. I don't know that is going to fit. Let me take it as something that I'm going to pawn eventually. So the other day, we kicked things off with dropping my kids out at my folks, which they love, by the way. They are always happy to see Grandma and Grandpa. In fact, the excitement for them this time was that they were going to hit a buffet, and some of you might know it, the Golden Corral. It is a favorite. It is a favorite. Fried chicken is on the menu in a big way, and it is unlimited deep fried action because, well, buffet. I like it. So they were excited to do that, among other things like watching an endless slew of Christmas movies, and I am so thankful that my parents got to do that, and I didn't have to do that this time. As much as I love watching the Christmas flicks, you know what I mean? If you know, you know. Some of you probably know. Cheers to you. Fantastic. That goes down easy. So there is a new coffee place in town that we've been wanting to try, and we hit that, and they had just some interesting things. It was a nice cozy place on top of that. Well, let's start with the drinks. So my wife ended up getting a Grinch latte, which I'm happy to report was, look at that. Look at that. We just melted the queen bee. You almost start to feel bad. You know, like, wow, we didn't give her much of a chance, did we? You just kind of feel bad about it. Let's see what we got here. And I'll go back to the coffee talk. I wasn't so concerned about stamina recovery. These were all kind of mishmash. I checked to see if I had any dice, and of course I didn't, so I just went with whatever was going to give me the highest resale value. You know, sometimes I play it that way. Those dice really come in handy. You know, make sure you have some at some point, and don't be afraid to use them. Also, don't forget, like I do. Learn from my forgetfulness. It's a thing. It's nice when you don't have to visit the weapons offering because you're so happy with what you have already. Love it. And when I double back like that, it's to make sure that I'm not missing out on a shiny that I can bomb. As one person appropriately pointed out the other day, it was a total ADHD moment for me when I walked past it the other day. It happens. 25% increased attack speed per aura you have. Explosion damage inflicts burn. Non-triggered lucky hit. Chain lightning. It was pretty clear what we needed to do. I was confident that I wanted to do something with auras during this run, if it was possible. Plus, you get some additional speed. So more frogs. Big frog and poison party. Not a bad thing. So my wife got this Grinch latte with creme de menthe and vanilla. And I tried it. It was very sweet, but I did think it was good. I don't think I could have drank a whole one myself. I guess if it had another shot of espresso in there, that would have balanced it out a little bit more for me. So it was good, but mine was better. They had a pistachio latte. I wasn't sure exactly how that worked, so I kind of just said, things are going super well. I recently paid for the meta upgrade where the cost of upgrading the weapon at the blacksmith is lower, and then it jumps up in tiered prices from there. And I think that's been super worth doing. Just makes those initial upgrades that much more accessible if you're not holding a ton of gold. So I went with the pistachio latte. Look at this. I mean, you know, if you're not thinking, boy, this is going to be a heck of a run at this point, you should be. You should be. So we grabbed the coffees and... Speaking of, I had to take another sip there. Grabbed the coffees and went to their back room. Really, really cozy. And, you know, the front area where they make the drinks, a lot smaller, but then you go down a hallway and it really opens up. And it was funny because they had framed pictures of Leatherface, and next to Leatherface was Jeffrey Dahmer. And, you know, of course, we looked at the Yelp reviews of the place going in, and there was a person that said, you know, there is a painting of Jeffrey Dahmer. I guess it was a photo. And that's a little off-putting. See, that worked out really well with all the elemental damage that we're doing. It's the perfect charm. Everything was coming up aces in this run. So, yeah, I saw Dahmer, and I saw Leatherface, and I said, hey, you know what? I like the style of this place. I would hang out here. And so I will probably be going back and having some lattes along the way. I will say, though, next year, I have my eyes on an espresso machine, and the goat may start dabbling in the home latte game. You know what I mean? It might get dangerous out here. I don't know. The world might end up being my oyster a little bit. I'm excited to see where things go. And why not, right? Something else to screw around with. Maybe we'll even see it show up on a future episode of Cheat Days with the Goat, the cooking show that I do for channel members. Let's see what we get here. Necrotic and poison damage from you and your companions inflicts fragility and armor break. Very interesting. Right? I mean, we're doing poison damage. It's already working so well. Might as well add insult to injury, right? Get some broccoli to go with it. Goodness. So we took our lattes and we headed out to one of the forest preserves in the area. It's a gigantic forest preserve, and it is one of those preserves where people go with their dogs. And we've been missing our dog lately. We lost her earlier in the year. We had a Siberian Husky. And she lived a long, awesome life. And, you know, sometimes you just want to be around dogs. And so we thought this will be perfect. And it's a gigantic preserve, too. So, you know, you get out there with your lattes and you take in the cold, brisk air. Just appreciate that you're warm from the layers, but you can see the breath in front of you. It was just really very peaceful. And there were dogs. There were lots of dogs, so that was nice. We're still talking about what we want to do in terms of an animal next year. Huskies are on the list, Malamutes are on the list, and Samoyeds are on the list. And I don't know that there's any other breeds that we're looking at. But our previous animal was a black and white Siberian Husky with one blue eye and one mixed eye, the party eye, as they're called. And yeah, she was awesome. We would probably go with a red Husky if we were going to go down that route again. So we'll have to see. But it was nice to see some dogs. Frogs and octopuses, right? Not friends, turns out. I always look forward to the level ups because you never know what you're going to get. And then you get so damn excited when an aura pops up. It's like, I don't even need to consider the others at this point. Because aura. And now we're going at it with Christmas colors, right? I mean, that's exciting. I thought, how about an army of bees as well? If the dev is listening, maybe we need to harken back to that Simpsons episode and just go all in with a dog companion that when it barks, it shoots bees out of its mouth. If you know, you know, and some of you know, some of you might be cracking up right now or just full out saying, the goat is right. We need to make this happen. sometimes I just like to double check my gear. Just make sure there's nothing else I could be doing. And I know we started to get weighed down a little bit, but I was thinking, well, just kind of is what it is. I like the shield. I like what the shield's doing, and as long as we're able to take everybody down, it's all good. And I could have bought the booze for the tipsiness and slight increase in damage. But again, we were destroying, and I thought, well, I might need gold later. I don't know. I'm not in dire need of the 10% damage increase or the damage over time with the whiskey. Look at that. Sorry, Octo guy. Just wasn't your day. So we did our hike, and it was awesome. And then we headed out, and, well, let me just say that sometimes the drops really, really work out. It's not this one, but I was considering it. That's the one. Now, I was willing to check, especially with another aura showing up, but I was really concerned about the weight situation, as it were. So that was a tough choice, but poison was working out so well. I was back and forth on this. I really was. But in the end, I felt that that was a solid choice, and didn't have a helmet at that point, so that worked out well too. I want to know what that damn Rubik's Cube does. If you know, please feel free to put it in the comments. I am okay with it. It takes 20 rooms to attune it, or I guess, you know, if you go to a bonfire, you could attune it right away, but I'm so curious about the Rubik's Cube. I see it every time, and I'm like, I need to know. So we went to this very fancy steakhouse. It's our 15th wedding anniversary. I have no idea where the damn time goes. But we wanted to splurge, and we did, and we ate ridiculously well. I just want to point out, I don't do this a lot. This is a special type of thing, so when we do it, I appreciate it quite a bit. That said, we ate like kings and queens, and I'm going to tell you about what we ate. My wife ended up getting a prime ribeye that was cooked to just a perfect medium rare. I mean, they absolutely nailed it. She got it Oscar style, which, and this is going to tell you how often I go to places like this. I don't know what that means. So it was explained, and basically they put pieces of crab meat on top of it, and then as a gravy they do a hollandaise sauce. I'm not a huge fan of hollandaise, but my wife is. It's like her favorite thing. Now, I looked at all of the options here, and I didn't see anything that I felt like we really needed. I thought about the winter orb, but then I was like, well, I really like the armor that we have, that big shield. I don't like what it weighs, but, you know, what to do? Yeah, see, this was a tough one. In fact, I took it off just to see what my life bar would look like. And I wasn't happy with the view that I saw after. I just thought, you know, this is going so damn well. Why would I want to mess with this right now? And so I didn't. And you shouldn't either. If you feel like, hey, I don't know, it's pulling on me a little bit, but I don't know if I should do this. What to do? Don't do it. Stick with what you have. If you like it and it's working well, stick with what you have. You know, look for ways to increase what you're doing and make the story you're trying to tell even better. But stick with what you have if it's working for you. I mean, look at, you know, look at us. It's another one of those you kind of feel bad. Now he did some damage. But we've got the repair powder, right? And that's going to take care of all of that because of the armor pieces. That's the beauty of the armor pieces. I think I was trying to get a feel for how lawful I was at that point, if I'm remembering right. And then I saw this, and yeah, good stuff, right? Yeah, you know which way we're going. You already know. So she said that it was the best steak she has ever had. I thought about the 2 paper cranes for a second, but then I was like, well, but I want something else getting out there and doing the poison. I don't know. It seemed like a good decision at the time. So I was very tempted by the beef options. There were many. There were many beef options. What I eventually decided on was this gigantic behemoth of a pork chop. When I tell you that this thing, when it came out, it was basically as big as my face, I am not bullshitting you right now. This thing was basically as big as my face, and I was so happy to see it. See, we had done that hike. I built up a very large appetite, and they carved it tableside. This thing came out on a ripping hot cast iron plate. And the gentleman that was serving us actually cut it tableside. Never experienced anything like that before. This thing was smoky. It was lavished with a really nice barbecue sauce. And I'll tell you what, it was just really, really great. Just really great. The way they cut it, it had the part of the rib on it. Oh, let's take a look at this here. On the tally of 5 burn ticks on an enemy, or when a burning enemy dies, trigger a fiery burst. Now that could have worked, but I thought, well, maybe there's something better that will show up. And folks, there it is. It showed up. Look at that. How cool. So now our auras are basically taking up the entire screen. The entire stage. There's basically nowhere to run. I was super happy about that. we got a couple of sides with the meal. And one of the sides was off the menu. It was a special. And it was a whipped butternut squash that had chunks of bacon and really thinly sliced red onion and peppers. And it was just super, super solid, very smooth. A nice combination of salty and sweet. You know, I thought about stopping at the bonfire, but this is where that push and pull comes into play, right? An extra heart would be tremendous right now, but the necromancer feeds off of those souls. You're getting extra damage for it. And that didn't work out so well. Usually I need those at this point. Needed a key right there. The fact that we're taking those worms down so quickly, you know, those things get very nasty if you don't take them down fast. They speed up on you. Things get wild out there. If you know, you know. Some of you absolutely know. But we're just continuing to destroy out there. So we got the butternut squash, and it was awesome. We also got one of the coolest things I have ever eaten. You have probably had creme brulee at some point in your life, or it's not something you like, but you know what it is. Yeah, that tequila worked out so well. And we had plenty of hearts for the 2 stacks. Tremendous. There was just nothing these guys could do. And to wield that kind of power on floor 9, I felt pretty good about our chances. Just checking to see what I need and what I don't need. So, creme brulee, right? Has the sugar top that has been, what's the word, flambéed? And where they use a kitchen torch and they turn it into sugary glass that you break through to get to the good stuff, right? Shoot a pretzel projectile. Isn't that awesome? Nice little Oktoberfest reference. I would have liked to make that work. I just didn't feel like it fit in. But that is something that I would like to find at some point in the future, for sure. Yeah, this seemed interesting to me. And then it's like, oh my god, I'm out of room again. Let's just re-roll. I had the body armor. See what pops. Sometimes you get lucky. %, reduced attack speed grants 1% increased damage per gold you have. That's very interesting. I want to do a gold-based run with the cash gun at some point as well. Somebody commented the other day about that, saying that I should do a gold-driven run. And I have had the cash gun before. It wasn't effective when I got it because I didn't have enough cash. It basically shoots faster the more dollars that you have in your bank. I just didn't have the dollars. But I would absolutely be open to trying that again. So back to the food. The creme brulee talk, right? So we know what creme brulee is. This was corn brulee. And so you had the brulee at the top, you had corn and spicy peppers and other types of good stuff. I couldn't name all the ingredients, but it was like a combination of spicy and sweet. And I had never ever had a corn dish like that before. And now, I think I'm at a point in my life where I would like everything bruleed. I would like every food to be a bruleed food with the crunchy sugar glass at the top. That's the point I'm at now. You know, maybe not everything as I think about that. A non-triggered lucky hit, trigger a chain lightning. Gain increased stats from your companions. Oh yes. Yes, very much. 75% increased effective status effects. Yeah. That was a good one for us. That was a very good one for us. Everything was just working out, you know? Just you wait. There's something coming that is... It's just the best. Stay tuned. It's the best. When I say everything worked out, everything really, really worked out. So the meal was phenomenal, and the waiter came by at one point and said, "Hey, oh, we've reached the moment, folks. Grants 100% increased aura radius." And look at that, I had the amount of souls that it cost. And it came with an armor piece, so I wasn't trading out that much. When I say that this worked out so extremely well, and I just wait for this bad boy to get attuned. It's amazing. Look at it. Look at it. Power overwhelming. We now have auras that are popping out of the stage area. There is no escape. There is no escape. It is a beautiful thing. What a run we are going to have here. My goodness, what a time. And a heart. I always attune. I don't know why. I do know why. It's from PTSD. When I started playing Tiny Rogues, on occasion, I would go to the blacksmith and forget to fix my armor. Look at this. Again, you almost feel bad, but it's death, so I don't feel bad. Because of the amount of times he's wrecked me, and I'm sure the amount of times if you play that he's wrecked you. I gave it back for everybody. I just had to serve it up to death. Very exciting. So the waiter came by and said, "Hey, are you ready for me to pack that up?" And I looked at him and said, "Absolutely not. No, we're getting this done today. This is getting done out here." He says, yeah, sure. Right. Whatever you say, sir." It's like he knew, and you know what? He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong, because a little bit later he came back and I said, "Hey, you know what? It turns out we're not getting this done today. It's not going to happen." And so he was nice enough to box that up, and then they came out, and it was really nice. They came out with this dessert plate, and I don't know if I mentioned or not, creme brulee is my wife's favorite thing, which is why we got the bruleed corn, the corn brulee. And so they came out with this dessert plate for the anniversary being a special occasion, and my wife was very quick to remind him that, hey, also, I would like the creme brulee, please. And so we had 3 mini desserts, just little taster-sized desserts on a very fancy-looking plate with some nice chocolate drizzle, some caramel drizzle along the plate. You know that fancy presentation that they do, you know, you eat with your eyes kind of thing? Yeah. Some of that. I'm not doing it justice, but, you know, you can imagine it in your mind. If you close your eyes and you think, oh, yeah, fancy syrups. Right. Yeah. It was spectacular, some of the stuff on this plate. They had a gingerbread mousse that had some caramel sauce that you could like dip the mousse into. There was, you know, a very soft piece of cake that the mousse sat on. And initially I told my wife, oh, it's cinnamon, and she tried it and she goes, no, it's not cinnamon, it's gingerbread. And I said, yes, it's gingerbread. It was a test. And you passed. Look at this guy. You know, I figured this was gonna go really well, and I'm so glad when I write about that. I realized for the first time that when he shoots those deadlights out, that's what I'm calling them, he starts to gang back either health or armor. Did you see him kind of fighting on the health bar? Let's see if it happens again. It might happen again. No, it's not going to happen again. It's a tough boss most of the time, but when you have nasty auras that take up the entire stage, you know, good luck to them. Really and truly, good luck to them. I was just doing a check here to see if there was anything I needed, but, you know, nothing really looked extremely good. And so again, I did the thing where I said, okay, you know, I'll go with the most worthwhile item. And then when I saw that inventory was going to be an issue, I thought, you know what, we're so stacked at this point in the best way that I don't need it. I don't want it. We're going to leave it for the next adventure. Perhaps one of you will come upon it and you'll go, hey, thanks, Goat, high five, right? You should. If you see it out there, if you happen to come across it, you be sure to raise your glass, right? Cheers to you. So we had this whipped gingerbread mousse concoction, and, you know, again, it was, you eat this stuff and you go, jeez Louise, I never had anything like this before. Don't you like how those guys jump out of the arena? But the goat said, no, that's not going to be good enough. You're still getting some aura action. It was fantastic. What a time. Now there goes one stack of tipsiness, but it'll be okay. I like how this section of the game, they're giving you a lot of epic foods that are enhancing various percentages. Really, really cool. Really interesting how the dev put together these final zones. Very thoughtful, I think. So then there was another cake type concoction, and it reminded me of a Hershey's Crackle bar. You know, with the, I think it's Crispies in there. Small crispy bites. I think. Another section where I just thought, I think we're good. Things are looking good here. You know, these guys domino off each other when you kill them, but when you've got so many frogs happening and the auras happening, it's like there's nothing they can do. They just disappear as soon as they spawn. $48 souls. Additional damage from each of those. I mean, I felt good. This guy has wiped the floor with me so many times, and I thought, this is our moment. Let's see what happens here, folks. This is such a tough section. Not even Contra on the NES prepared me. And that's saying a lot. Konami was looking out for all of us, knowing that the future would bring games like this. Giving us Contra and Life Force and Gradius and so many others with the beams and the dodges. They were preparing us for tiny rogues the entire time. What a thought, right? Yeah, I didn't do a great job of dodging there, turns out. I needed to keep going in the circle. And there's our revive. 2 hearts. If not for that revive. Abyss key. 1 of 3 keys required to open the sealed gate of the Abyss. First time here, folks. We welcome you. My liege. Now, I had seen that pot before, and I thought, no, that could be insta-death. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. But this was looking very good to me. Take seat, Your Highness. Take seat on the throne. You have accomplished the impossible. You've become the embodiment of death. A new master. The new keeper of order. Chosen by the shadows. We serve Your Highness. A mortal no longer. Now ruling the shadow planes. But even the glory of becoming a god eventually fades into eternity. What a run. The end. Your world tier is now 5. Achieving this world objective unlocked the gates to the high heavens and burning hells. And I have no idea what that means yet, but I know it's good, and I know it's going to allow us to progress just a little bit further, which is exciting. Folks, thank you so much for all the support lately. I love it. It's fantastic. I love hanging out here with you. We are doing a giveaway. Be subscribed. Leave a comment. We'll see you next time.